advisory, non-binding resolutions to help direct the executive committee. So we don't need to get all uptight about here, we're adopting something we can't change our minds on later. This is, the present state of thinking is, the executive committee answers to this body is the governing body of the Libertarian Party. So I think it's important that we get some feedback at this point as to how we should think about proceeding. Again, it's not
Could we consider another suit?
Another state?
Another suit.
Lawsuit.
You know, we did a lawsuit last time they tried to screw us with this kind of thing.
Well,
And we won.
That's a possibility. The wheels of justice grind slowly.
Well, winning is a vague.
By the way, the present status of our lawsuit
You're right.
is it's stuck in the appeals court. Right now, our lawyer is basically fighting to get paid. That's where the lawsuit stands right now.
I wish we were here to say whether he felt like doing another suit or not.
Andy,
When you follow political practices pledge, do you also have a filing fee for it?
the filing fee is up to the party. The filing fee is determined by and collected by the party. And so that's also one thing we could do is.
We don't charge it till we nominate, though.
We have not in the past.
Right.
But that's another thing we should consider here. So let me put this
On that note, just real quick, what's the end result of that money? Where does that money go?
That money goes to our treasury.
Okay, so it stays in the park?
It stays in the party.
Okay.
So if we wanted to charge $1,000 for a candidate filing fee, then we'd have $1,000 in our treasury, which we could then use to support the candidate to pay the $1,000, or even refund it for that matter. But messing with the fees is another way we could approach this. But let me put all this into one kind of big package, or take it one piece at a time anyway. This resolution, as I said, it's an advisory to the executive committee. It's not binding. Boilerplate says, well, we think that the changes should be considered, and specifically the following ideas are what we should consider. And what I've done is to present some different options. There's A, 1 or 2, B, 1 or 2, C, 1 or 2. And so I'd like to divide the question by each of these A, B, C categories. And we can vote up or down. We can vote A, or 1 or 2, or none of the above, which would be, let's not even worry about this idea. But that'll give us some parameters to work with. So the first idea is that this changes the timing when we have to have the political practices pledges in, but we don't have to have our convention after that date. We could go on doing things just the way we have before. We could have our convention in mid-February. We could make it a stipulation that you can only file a political practice, you can only receive your certificate of candidacy or file a political practices pledge if you have been nominated by the Libertarian Party in convention or otherwise. And then nominate our candidates, and then we sit around and wait until the primary election day and submit our lists, even though we picked them months earlier. But that's basically the same situation we have now. If we had not changed this law, we would be having our convention next February and submitting our candidate list on March 1st. So that's one possibility. A1 would be just do what they say, but have our convention early, just like we have been. The other possibility is if we want to have our candidates pre-approved before the candidate filing period, we could empower the executive committee to make endorsements of candidates that would be acceptable to the party. Now, what we do with those endorsements, we'll get to later. But I guess that's the question here is, do we want to have some process where we select candidates prior to the candidate filing week in order that we maintain control and therefore thwart the effect of this law, which is to force us to pick after we've already declared our candidates. I guess if we can focus the discussion on that particular idea, what are the pluses and minuses of these approaches, that might be helpful in proceeding.
And once again, the candidate filing period
ends March 1st. It's the week ending March 1st.
it's like for a 2-week period.
It's a 1-week period.
A 1-week period, February 24th, March 1st.
The first business day in March is the last day of the week.
Yeah.
Why do we want to have a convention in May instead of in February?
The only reason that we would like, if in an ideal world, we could have our convention in April or May, and have that much longer to recruit candidates and find good candidates for the offices if we didn't have to declare ahead of time.
It also matters because we have been able to hear more about what the other parties are doing. Like if a race is gonna run uncontested unless we run somebody, someone might throw their hat in that wouldn't have considered it otherwise.
And I suspect that's exactly why this bill was passed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm of two minds on this. I would like on one hand to have our convention before that filing period is over, so it's settled, it's done, and they cannot contest it. On the other hand, I might like to sit there and hold back and see and file for several things and see who doesn't run, what incumbent doesn't refile. And then focus my effort there. I'm kind of flip the coin on this right now because of that. I think